a growing trend in the industrial world. It's really kind of interesting that's going on right now. There's a lot of knowledge and experience that's leaving the plant floor. And there's really not much of a gap to fill in behind them. That knowledge and experience, when it walks out the door, what do we do? If I'm a plant manager or a plant engineer, what am I going to do about it?
I think in the future there's going to be an AI role in that. And I think there are technologies and systems out there today that people are starting to develop when they're building systems, particularly seems like around process systems.
They've brought us in and I see the operator, they're going here to start it up, and then they're running over here to start it up, and then they're going over here to check it, and then something happens, they're having to run all over the place to do this, and we're like, why don't we bring it all together and put it on one screen so you can monitor this here, you can check it here, and you can stop it.
Welcome to episode 16 of our podcast, Innovating the Industrial World. I'm John King, CEO of Cross Company, and your host, and I have two really cool guests that I'm looking forward to talking with today. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Todd Barnette. I'm the Director of Field Service Engineering for Cross Company in the PSG branch out of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Awesome.
And I'm Ed Penny. I am the Director of Engineering for the Automation Group in Whitsett, North Carolina. We do robot cells, batching systems, inspection equipment, material handling, and just a wide variety of automation systems.
Awesome. So automation engineering, field service engineering, I mean, there's a lot, talk about geeky, smart, and super nice. This is sort of the center of that for Cross. And we're here to talk about a growing trend in the industrial world. It's really kind of interesting that's going on right now. There's a lot of knowledge and experience that's leaving the plant floor, right? There's got baby boomers and even Gen Xers like me who are nearing the retirement age, who may be leaving the industrial world. And there's really not much of a gap to fill in behind them. That knowledge and experience, when it walks out the door, what do we do? If I'm a plant manager or a plant engineer, what am I going to do about it? And Todd, you've got a great sort of example of that, right?
Yes, the plant I used to work for, I've got over 30 years of integration experience. I was there for close to 14 years, and as I was leaving, hired in my replacement to take over for me, and he worked there for a couple of years, and he got sick, and he passed away, and we were brought back in because all the knowledge I passed to him, it was just such a quick thing, it didn't get passed down to anyone else. So they have a lot of legacy equipment there, a lot of different equipment, and so it really brought us back in to be able to help them, to keep them running, and plus they didn't want to go down that avenue again of another engineer. They have experienced electricians that can troubleshoot a PLC, not necessarily program or get involved with it. So we kind of filled in that gap, and we have been doing that for a number of years there and other places.
Yeah, and when you're manufacturing things, I mean, it's complicated, right? What we're having to deal with is really complicated. We talk a lot about that in other episodes of the podcast, about it's a little more complicated than you might think. So if I'm a plant engineer, what do I do about that? What can I do when my engineer walks out the door?
When your engineer walks out the door, I mean, the first thing, one thing you can do is you contact, a company like ours, and, there are a lot of things we can do, at least on the packaging end and the automation end, keeping your systems operational. We may be able to send engineers in, or if you have automation projects, we certainly can help you work through those from the beginning to end. We'll help you identify, work on return on investment for your projects, and then design and build your projects.
Yeah, because when an engineer leaves, and I'm a plant man, it's going to work next shift. It's going to work tomorrow, most likely, but things change, right? I mean, not only does the equipment get older, but part numbers change, boxes change, the things that I'm dealing with are going to change, my quality parameters change.
Not only that, it's the usage of the software. Some people don't have that knowledge to get in and be able to actually connect to the PLC. They can, to do that or do that on the plant floor to troubleshoot. And then, the plant will rely on us to really tell them the legacy of a product, whether it's going out of lifespan, does it need patched, does it need updated. And even to the point of when they are doing upgrades, they'll come to us to kind of help them lead that project to tie all these different systems together. I mean, they may be buying a system from France and another one from another area, and we have to tie all this together and keep their system running, and they'll rely on us to give them good information on it and probably lead up startup, which is what we're doing actually right now at like 2 or 3 different plants.
Yeah, 100% right. I mean, because it's not only software, it's hardware from a bunch of different manufacturers, it's hardware that we put together. And actually, that engineer who may have walked out the door 15 years ago helped put those things together. Mm-hmm. And now when I want to upgrade my system and I go, oh, here's the person I used to talk to, they're not here anymore. And now I've got to have somebody who can put something together that works, right? And so we take systems from a lot of different places, and I'm a plant manager, and I go, okay, I've got to figure this out. Let's say I've got boxes on a pallet. I got to get them off of the pallet. I got to get them onto a conveyor, and I don't have anybody to do that. And my boss tells me I need to automate that. So if I don't have it internal, if I don't have somebody there to help me handle that project, I go, oh my gosh, is AI going to help me? What am I going to do? So, we walk into that situation a lot where we have to use things from a variety of different manufacturers in different places, right?
Yeah, we do. We run into projects like that every day. We have customers that come to us for inspection systems and robot cells and end-of-line packaging, and we help them identify the project. We help them work through the project from beginning to end. They always have plant managers and engineers that, for the most part, understand what we're doing or understand what their needs are anyway. But they probably don't understand all the specifics of what the requirements are. All the software, the robot softwares, the PLC software, how to integrate those things, the safety requirements. Those are all things that we help them work through, and those are things that we are experts on, and we design and build the systems.
Yeah, because that's our job, is to know those systems.
That's our job to know those
the
systems.
multiple different systems, because that's what, like what he's talking about. You have one system that may be talking Modbus, another one Ethernet IP, and another one Data Highway Plus. So, you need the knowledge of somebody that could come in there and make all these systems talk to each other and still work, even though they're all different communication modules. And what you'll have in a lot of locations and plants, you'll have brand specific people that work there because they don't necessarily touch all these different components and pieces, where we touch all these components and pieces at multiple locations. So we're able to really help them more and get them more comfortable in talking to all these different platforms and pieces.
And we're designing and building systems that have a variety of technologies. And our customers already have, to Todd's point, they've already got a variety of technologies around the systems that we're designing and building. And we have to understand how to, with software, with programming, how to communicate with those things, hardware-wise, how to make things transition properly, make things move properly, from one system to the next, through ours to the next system in their plant, and all the way eventually to the warehouse.
So I'm a plant manager, and everybody tells me AI is going to fix all my problems, right? So I'm going to be able to go to AI and say, hey, this is knowledge and experience is no longer here. What do I do? What role can AI play in that?
I think in the future there's going to be an AI role in that, and I think there are technologies and systems out there today that people are starting to develop when they're building systems, particularly seems like around process systems.
Discrete auto.
There are systems being built out where, as the system's designed, the hardware design is put into some version of an AI system. The software is put into an AI system. All the component bills of material, all the spec sheets are loaded into the system. And even as the system is started up, and then there's troubleshooting done and repairs done down the road, all those records are put into the system. Later on, you can, with this AI-based system, it can help you with troubleshooting. You can ask, if you identify a problem, it may suggest a potential repair or where a potential problem may exist, or what you could try. And while that exists today, the front end build out is extensive.
Yeah.
So to make that happen, so your largest manufacturers, does that make sense? Sure, it does. So, or it may in some cases. But your small to medium manufacturers, can they afford that front end build out? Well, probably not.
And it's still only as good as what the information you put in. Because if you have local people there that's already 50% proficient maybe and able to troubleshoot a PLC, but not necessarily how to program it, they don't always know the information to put in to understand what's coming out. So we're able to get the right information in, and if it does lead us in the right direction, my team uses AI extensively. We may take a picture of the PLC and say, hey, we need to troubleshoot this for this particular light pattern, what's going on. So it speeds up that process. But the difference is we can understand the information it's giving us back to check, to hook up, and what to do. So it is a useful tool. Is it a replacement tool? Absolutely not. Not at this point.
And you got to have, you got to have the knowledge. Somebody does, whether it's a cross person or whether it's an engineer that I have as a plant manager. Somebody's got to know what that means, got to know what software to put that into or where to put. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to turn a wrench too. I mean, we're physically manufacturing things, or I'm a plant manager and I'm physically manufacturing things. I've got to take a conveyor. I've got to take a I got to take a hopper. I've got to take all kinds of things to put them together and make it work. And so we have really kind of two things that we are dealing with, or I'm dealing with as a plant manager. I've got my existing system that, oh my gosh, something changed. I got a different box. I got a different product. I got a different bill of material. I got something that's changed in my process, or it failed. So I got something to troubleshoot and check out. And if I say to AI, I can sit there and type all day into AI, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to figure it out and actually install it.
There's still control. I mean, by the time you put all the information in that you needed to fully put it into the PLC, you've already programmed the PLC because you've got tag addresses. You don't know if it's indirect or direct address, and you have to put all that in there. So, it will lead you in the right direction. If you wanted to know how to make 3 pumps auto rotate, start and stop, it will give you a general idea how to do that. But you still have to put in your controls to make that happen and to talk to the right spots, to tag it to the right part of the HMI.
Right. AI is a valuable tool. It's going to get you going in some direction, but it's not going to solve your problems. Somebody's still going to have to understand the system, be able to troubleshoot the system, be able to mechanically repair the system, be able to upgrade the software, be able to make PLC edits. So,
or as you know all too well, create the system. Like I might be able to be a plant man. How do I automate this process? It's going to tell me, oh, you need to get a conveyor, you need to get a robot, you need to get safety caging, you need to get this. But how are you going to get all that to you physically got to put it together. You got to physically get it to work.
Well, AI is not going to check and make sure the voltage is there on the input. It's not going to look at it and say there's 110 volts there.
It's going to help you some with some of the design. I mean, it's making advancements. You're going to get some design elements. It's going to make your design path quicker.
And we're using that to make them more even more clever.
We're using that today. That's right. So it can help design your control panel. It can help do some of your mechanical design work. There are things it can do. It's not going to get you to the finish line. It's going to get part of the way there, and then you're still going to have your, use your knowledge, experience, capabilities to finish your design, finish the system.
But the good news is,
get it built.
I need to know how to manufacture my product, but I don't need to necessarily know how to automate a process, or I don't need to know how to troubleshoot my PLC. Because I used to hire that. I mean, golly, I had teams of engineers running around my plant floor doing that. But they're gone now. And right now I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. And what we're going to do next, because this needs to happen, is we deal with that now, right?
That's right.
Well, and a good manager, I mean, and that's what they're doing. They're wanting to support their line and their electricians the best they can to get people in the right spot. That the end of the day, they want production up. They want production out. They want production up, less downtime. And they want the employees to be able to run this thing easily, or the best they can. And they're looking for us to just make all that happen.
Because those same employees are also hard to find too, right?
Yes.
That's why we talk about palletizing, the other thing. Yes. They don't want to do those jobs. Mm-hmm. And so we have to automate those jobs make the operators, as you mentioned before, the employees, make it easier for them to use. And
that is where we come in. I mean, there's been some locations, they've brought us in, and I see the operator, they're going here to start it up, and then they're running over here to start it up, and then they're going over here to check it, and then something happens, they're having to run all over the place to do this, and we're like, why don't we bring it all together and put it on one screen so you can monitor this here, you can check it here, you can stop it. Never thought of that. And then the next thing we do it, and they're happy.
So you're designing a way to help them with troubleshooting,
Correct.
Maintaining their system, keeping it running.
From one spot.
From one spot.
And I don't have, if I'm a plant man, I don't have to have the expertise in that, because I know somebody who does. But I just need to have the expertise in manufacturing my product. I know what that operator needs to do. Now, somebody like us can come in and help them figure out to make that more efficient.
Right.
And have one operator doing it instead of 3.
Yes.
And something that's getting more and more common for you, and Todd, it's probably already common for you, but something that's getting more and more common for us in the automation group is customers are contracting us to come in quarterly, inspect their systems. It may be something we installed several years ago. It may be something we didn't install, we didn't design and build to begin with, but they're contracting us to come in quarterly, or they come in monthly or quarterly or semi-annually evaluate your systems, look at how they're running, evaluate how they're running, troubleshoot their systems, make adjustments, make program edits.
What's super awesome for me as a plant manager is that used to be a full-time position, and I had to had to find somebody who had a degree, it was trained, and I kept them on as a full-time person, and they were running around checking things for me. But now if I bring somebody in quarterly, I don't have that same expense, and I don't have to worry about whether or not they retire or what happens.
Or be on vacation or sick, because like right now we provide that security to a plant that there's somebody available pretty much 24 hours. It doesn't have to be the same person. It's my team, and and they can call us. And just what you said, we've had service agreements, and every year we add on another plant, another 2 plants. So that has only grown. It hasn't went backwards. We haven't lost service agreements. It just keep adding and get larger and larger every year because of that loss. And so now they're pulling us in, and that whole service agreement group has just grown larger and larger and larger, the more plants that we support now.
In many cases, some of our cases, these systems we installed a few years ago, that was, we with documentation and training, we feel like we leave our customer in a very good position to maintain the systems themselves. We want them to be self-supportive as much as possible, so that if a system ever has an issue, if there's a downtime event for any reason, they can troubleshoot it themselves and get it back up and running. So with documentation and training, we work very hard to leave our customers in a good place. So a lot of these cases where we're going in now and providing service or providing quarterly service, we trained people a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we felt like we left them in a very good place. But then 12 months later, 18 months later,
somebody
their
leaves.
technical staff that we've trained is gone.
Is gone.
So, and it may be one person, it may be a whole team of people are no longer with the.
But what's cool is when let's say I call it, you come in and we do it quarterly. Now it's not a full-time position. It's less expensive,
right.
And not only is it better, but it's better documented and everything else. But it's full-time, and I don't have to worry about it. And if it happens again next year, we're here to take care of it.
And almost without exception, when we do our quarterly visits, we try to not just train the technicians and the engineers, but train the operators on basic troubleshooting. Right. And make little efforts every time to make it a little bit easier to troubleshoot, make it a little bit easier to recover from some downtime event, and just keep the systems operational.
Yeah, because I'm a plant manager. My job is to keep up with the state of the art in manufacturing plastics, or in manufacturing salt, or in manufacturing my product. But your job is to keep up with the state of the art in PLCs and in automation and in what the growing technology is.
Even how we would work together, the system he designed, he put in to get in there and tied it to their PLC that he's helped maintain and train them on. We will even go one step further than that, to the full SCADA system, to the whole raw material loading system, to the front end from the truck getting loaded all the way to the rear end of it. So, that's a way we would work together. As far as the system he put in, we could actually go past that and maintain the rest of the plant.
That's awesome.
And the other 7 lines at the plant, not just.
And that state of the art stuff, that's what we love. We love it, right? We love the industrial world about it. It's really fun.
We enjoy it. So the people we've hired, the people that work for our group, have they come out of school, with a lot of them with that goal in mind to get into that technical path, and
they get to work on something new every day.
They get to work on something new every day, and robots are cool and fun. Machine vision systems are cool and fun for engineers to work with, and so inspection systems, lasers, and laser inspection devices.
That's exactly
it's all
right.
Interesting. So
that's awesome.
We hear great stories where they're in aquariums working in oxygenation systems and seeing the new beluga whales and it's brought in. It's pretty great.
It's cool stuff.
Pretty great different work.
It is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if you like what you heard today, or you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. We look at those things and we'll respond to that. Also, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. And we look forward to talking with you next episode. Thanks so much, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.